Hello, friends. Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well. Let's just wait a little bit here. Let's see if our connection is working. Let's hear our sound here. Okay. Yeah, everything seems to be working fine. Okay. Let's just stop here. Okay, guys. Good evening then. We are here tonight again. We're going to be talking still uh, about the Gospel according to Spiritism. We're going to start today, chapter 25, as we said last week. So, tonight, this chapter is a quite interesting chapter, which perhaps will bring to us a lot of enlightenment regarding to work, to the power of prayer, to the power of our thoughts, and also to the power of our will. Okay, this chapter itself is not too long. We're gonna break it still in two parts because if I go straight and try to finish the chapter today, I think it would be too fast and we won't have time to go deep and study these wonderful teachings. So even if the chapter is quite short, we're gonna do that in two times, today and next week. Okay, so let's give a minute here. Then we're gonna do our initial prayer. Okay. Okay, guys. So today here in Dublin, it's quite sunny. We cannot complain. It's quite nice and warm, as you guys can see here. I'm having a lot of sun here right beside me. So I'm quite happy about this. I hope you guys are enjoying the sun also. Okay. So guys, we're going to be starting tonight with our initial prayer as usual. So I'm going to invite everyone. Hello, Lu. Hello, everybody. I'm going to invite everyone to close your eyes if you feel comfortable, of course. To take a deep breath. Dear God, we ask the presence one more time of the good spirits. We ask the presence of our mentors, of our Master Jesus, who said once that in a place where one or two will be prayer in his name, he would shall be there with us. So let's ask the presence of Jesus and the good spirits in order to support us tonight, in order to us to be able to open our hearts for these wonderful lessons of the spirits with the help of Allan Kardec. Let's be thankful for all the blessings that we have. Thank God, and so be it. Let's start. Okay, guys. So, as we said tonight, we're going to be studying chapter 25 of the Gospel according to Spiritism, and it says, the title is Seek and You Will Find. And here we have a part which is in Matthew 7:11 that we would like to read just in order to to clarify which kind of topic we're going to be mentioning here tonight. And here Jesus says, according to Matthew, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and we will find. Knock and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks will receive, and that he seeks will find. And to him that knocks it will be opened. Or what man is there amongst you, if his sons ask for a piece of bread, will you give a serpent or a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will you give him a snake? If then you, despite of being evil, know how to give good things to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give it to you? The good things, so we should ask it for him, God's. So it's a beautiful passage which for me always made me wonder what really Jesus is trying to ask, trying to teach. Sorry, guys, trying to bring to us here. Because sometimes, if we just use our brain, or if we use the modern times that we are living in, we think it's quite simple. We're gonna simply ask to God, to Jesus, or to whatever name you wanna give it, Allah, Moses, Vishnu, Krishna, doesn't matter which kind of God, or if you believe in any at all. We're just gonna be asking to the universe, and it will be given to us. But here, the spirits they explain to us that's a bit more deep. Of course, when Jesus said that, as we always try to explain here, we have to understand that he was talking with simple people in Galilee, in Nazareth, in the Middle East where he was, in Capernaum, in that kind of cities there. So he had to use simple language, but a lot of times he used strong language in order to try to get people's attention. But here, the spirits they say to us that if we think about the earthly point of view, seek and we will find is the same as help yourself, and the heavens will give it to you. So we are talking about the law of work and the consequence that the law of work brings to us and humanity, because progress, as the spirits they say here, is the child of work, which puts man's actions and intelligence to work for its progression. So we have to understand that work itself is not something bad to us. Especially for us in Brazil, we think work is something quite bad because it's related to slavery, where the poor people who came from Africa as a slave, they had to work. So nowadays, the Brazilian society, we carry this burden to think that work is not something good to us. But here, once we start to study, once we see humanity, we see that what brought us to this stage where we are now was the hard work, was the efforts that we try to, all the things that we try to accomplish. Because we have to understand that without work, there will be no progress. Without work, we'll still be in the cave. The man in the cave there, just sleeping, having sexual relationships in order to reproduce ourselves and have a bit of pleasure, and trying to fight in order to find our food and our shelter. But here, the spirits they say to us that God gave some things to mankind, not to man itself. We're not talking about gender here, but about the species, to mankind. The constant desire to improve ourselves. So then we have to understand that work for us is this gift that God gave to us in order to ourselves to progress, and not only to be asking for God, God, give me this, give me that. I would like to get a better job. Have you trained it yourself? Have you studied to get this position? God, I would like to increase my salary. Are you doing any extra work at work? Are you doing anything extra on your company to be getting this extra salary, this extra amount of money in the end of the day? Because if we only ask without doing anything, then we are in trouble. A lot of people nowadays, especially some people in some different sectors of religion, they have this idea that we just ask, and because we have a lot of faith, God will give it to us. And the spirits say, no, faith is good. Yes, we must ask, but we must work also, because only the faith itself, only the prayer itself, it's not enough in order to us to conquer, to accomplish our goals. We must do our part. We must work. Then, because of this, we are discovering things. If you take our society, if you take humankind, according to science, mankind is here on Earth for over what 50, 60,000 years, and we pro sorry we progressed quite a lot in the last 150 years. We had so many inventions. We discovered so many things. So science gave that jump, but that jump, the spirits they explain, is not from nowhere, because the spirits who discovered certain things nowadays, they are the same spirits who before were trying to discover things in the past, were fighting before, even before, to find their food, to find their shelter. But life after life, we progress a little bit. Because we are progressing a little bit, each time that we return to the corporeal existence, each time that we wear a physical body, even if we don't remember our previous incarnation, the spirits explain to us that we carry a little bit of our past experiences. We carry what is good to us in order to us to progress. Okay, so once, for example, we take Da Vinci, once we take I don't know, a Van Gogh, or once we take any kind of artist or anyone like Stephen Hawking, for example, any big mind, Einstein, that we see nowadays, and we are quite admired by their achievements in society. We have to understand that the same ones, all of them, they were spirits who before maybe they weren't famous, but they were spirits who were trying to discover new things. They were spirits who were trying to progress. It's the same. The same applies to us now. We are perhaps learning about spiritism. We are trying to not only here living on earth in order to gain material means, in order to gain a better salary, in order to have a bigger house, a better car. At least we are trying to think about our spiritual life, because we know we must have something else after death. That's what we believe, at least in spiritism, and I believe everyone here believes a little bit about the existence after death. So, because of this, we are trying to explore new ways. We are trying to learn new things, new lessons, in order to improve, not as a human beings only, but as a spirit. Because this chapter is going to be talking a lot about this, that yes, we are the material world, then we need material stuff, but perhaps many times we give more importance to the material world rather to the spiritual life. And that's what the spirits they say to us. It's a problem. We're not going to go that today. We're going to go that next week in the second part of this chapter. But we have to understand that this chapter talks a lot about this. And here, the spirits they explain to us that the amount of progress that each one of us are able to achieve, it's really small. That's why the reincarnation comes and plays a big role on it. Because, as I said before, the amount which I learned today, I'm going to be developing myself. And then in the next life, I'm going to be bringing a little bit of that previous knowledge, but in a different country, in a different existence, in a different gender, in a different color of skin, in a different country, speaking a different language. But that kind of internal knowledge comes with the spirits. That's why we have nowadays kids, when they are 3 or 4 years old, they start to play an instrument better than people who are playing for over 20 years. We get the case of Mozart, who at 6 years of age, he was able to write his first piece, his first concerto. And imagine someone writing something so complex that many musicians of Mozart times in Austria, in Germany, and Europe around, they said, what this kid is playing is something that I would be playing only training hard, playing 10 hours a day for 20 years. But where did Mozart brought all that knowledge? That was in his spirit. But we have to understand that in Mozart's case, uh, he didn't forget everything. He brought this because that was in his reincarnatory plan. So, because someone may ask me, Wanderley, are you saying to me that everything which I learned in the previous lives, am I gonna be carrying with me? Yes and no. If that's gonna be something good for you for this life, yes, you're gonna be carrying. Because remember, knowledge it's not always good, because sometimes we learn things which they are not useful to us, they're not really good to us. And maybe they were good to us, but we use that in a meaningful way, in a bad way. We hurt people. Imagine, let me give an example. Imagine someone was back in Brazil, and I was a man who used to trade slaves, or I was trying to steal the gold there, or I was in any place where I was trying to steal or hurting someone, then perhaps I learned the language of that people, or maybe I learned some techniques which made me which make easier the process of conquer that people. That kind of knowledge which I learned, even if it's a knowledge, I use that for something bad. So more than likely, I'm not gonna be bringing that with me in that reincarnation. So all the good knowledge that we learn throughout existence, we bring a little bit of it in order to keep progressing. That's why we don't have many Nikola Teslas, for example, the great creation minds. We don't have many Albert Einsteins. We don't have many of those. We don't have many Leonardo da Vinci's. We have only a few of them. Why? Because they were spirits who tried hard. And when I say we don't have many of them, because they were individuals who tried that they tried as much as they could. They invest time on their craft. They tried their best. So that's why here Jesus says to us, seek and you shall find, knock and it will be open. So if we do our part, the universe or God, doesn't matter the name that you give, is gonna be supporting us, but only if it's good for us. Then you may ask me, Wanderley, I think you are being a bit contradictory now, because you said before, if we ask for something good, maybe the spirits would be supporting us. If we ask God for something good, the spirits, God will help us. It depends. Maybe I'm asking something good only for myself and I'm not thinking about the others around me, because that's called selfishness. I just want what's good for me. About the others, I don't care. When I'm talking about these men, which I spoke here before, Tesla, Da Vinci, all the great minds, they want the good things for them. Of course, they want they want the glory of discovering something, but all the things which they discovered and they produced were good for humanity. So they only didn't work only for them. Their work was good for the others. So once we ask something to God which is good for us and the others, and we are doing our part, the spirits will help us. Because sometimes we ask things to God that we believe it's going to be good to us, but in fact they won't. Let me give an example, okay? Let's say I have someone who is very rich. Okay, let me say, I don't know, let me get someone very rich. Elon Musk, okay? Let's say Elon Musk, he has a teenager son, and his teenager son loves racing. Then he gives you this teenager son the fastest car in the world. But he realized that his teenager son is a bit stubborn, is a bit let's say someone who doesn't care about the risks. Maybe if his son die with that fast car, he has some parts of responsibility, because he could see in his children, in his son, that he had this kind of tendency for driving too fast and being a bit crazy and doesn't caring about the consequence of driving too fast. So if Elon Musk, just an example, okay, guys, I'm just using him because he's very rich, everyone knows Elon Musk. So if he understood that his son had this tendency, if he was a good father, he wouldn't give that to his son. Why? Because he knows that he's not prepared yet to receive this kind of powerful car. It's the same with God. That's why here he says in this part here, which one of you being good, if your son asks you for a piece of bread, would you give him a stone or a snake? So saying, if your son asks you something that you know he's not able and capable to handle, why would you give that to him? To cause him more harm? It's the same, for example, for me. I'm not someone who deals quite well with money. So if I start asking God, give me money, I want money, I want money, what do you want? Then that money which may come to my life will be would be something that perhaps would destroy everything which I have, because perhaps I'll become someone very selfish, someone who doesn't appreciate life, who spends money not in a good way, only thinking about pleasures. Consequently, maybe I'll be living this life instead of being able to have looked after properly my money. I'll be someone who just burned this money without helping anyone. I hope I'm make sense, but what I'm trying to say is, it's not everything that we ask to God that we're gonna be receiving. We only receive from God and from good spirit what is beneficial to us. And of course, if we deserve and if we do our part. What is our part? It's work. But at the same time, like it says here, in the end, we have to understand that everything that we ask to God, we must ask with sincerity and confidence and fervors. So we have to ask truly to God something in order to get it. We cannot be someone who just say, "Give that to me. I need a deserve. I worked so hard. I want that." Because some people, they think because they have suffered a lot in this life, God owns to them something. Sorry, guys. God and no one owns you anything. Doesn't matter how much you suffered. The world does not care about you. The world. I'm not talking about God, okay? So the world does not own you anything, and God also. So once we ask something, we have to be humble. We have to leave our pride outside. We have to ask with our hearts. And of course, we have to ask wisely to these things. You know, that's why the spirits, they give to us opportunity to stay and to be living among people, to be surrounded with people, then in order to be able then for us to be able to deal with society, to deal with the differences, to start to comprehend that if my brother, if my neighbor has a different kind of sexuality, or if he believes in something different than me, why am I better than him? Why am I more, why am I special and he's not? We have to understand that to God, everyone is the same, everyone is equal, even if you don't believe in God. That's the thing, because sometimes in some beliefs, people they think God will only help those who believe in Him. No, He won't. He will help those who help the others. That's why you have that beautiful passage in the Bible. I don't remember. I think it was in Matthew when Jesus says to the apostles that everyone who supports the others, who are caring about the others, their neighbors, those ones who they don't know, who they haven't seen their lives at all, when you do something good to those people, is the same as you are doing to him. So Jesus said that to the apostles. So if you do good to the others, you are doing good to me, even if the other is a stranger, even the others, using a word of the time of Jesus, is a Gentile, someone who does not have the Jewish faith like Jesus was a Jew, you know. So if he was a Samaritan or a Gentile or a Roman, doesn't matter. Jesus never said, if you help those ones, you're not my friend. He said, help everyone. Even if many times, as we spoke last week, if he said, do not go to the Gentiles, because he was trying to say, go first to the ones who are prepared already. And after those ones who are not prepared yet, you're going to go later, because progress does not come to earth and to all of us at the same time like this. If you see history, if you study history, it's something quite wonderful, because sometimes some really good thing starts in a country, then after several years it spreads to another country, then it spreads to another continent, and then it spreads to the entire world. Then 10, 20, 100 years later, we have that good thing everywhere. If you take society, our way of dealing with loss has been progressing quite a lot. Because before, we used to hang people. Before, we used to burn people. We used to stone people. Even if I know there are some places and some groups of people who are still a bit violent towards a criminal, for example, nowadays, in most of the society, we don't do that anymore. Maybe if someone committed a crime, we judge according to law and bring that person to the prison. Then you may ask me, Wanderley, but are you saying to me that the law is perfect, the law is good? No, we are saying that at least that person is not being shot straight away, is not being hanged straight away. So for us, society, that's a progress. Even if the human law is not perfect yet, we are progressing it, we are improving it. And who is doing that? Us, spirits who in the past committed crimes, spirits who in the past, instead of using law to be correct, use law in our favor to take gains, you know. But God gives to us this the the blessing of reincarnation in order to ourselves to fix the mistakes that we did. So if 300 years ago I was someone who committed a crime, who affected many people in society, I will come to live in the next life, 100, 200 years later, doesn't matter, again, with maybe with similar people who I created some harm before in a previous life, or in a similar society, in order to fix that problem. Because we must fix our mistakes, not God's. God does not fix our mistakes. That's why our progression is slow. It's slow to our eyes, of course, because if you think, I mean, of course, the progress everywhere is slow. But what I'm trying to say that we think it's very slow, but perhaps if we think, if you see in a bigger picture, we are gonna see that our world, our society nowadays is not so bad as before. As I always say here, people they come to me and they say, Wanderley, the society nowadays is very bad. People they're killing each other. We have fake news. We have people hurting each other. We have racism and stuff like this. But 300 years ago, we still had that and much worse. At least nowadays, we have the power of internet, which is a tool which could be used for something bad, but it's a tool that we are using right now for something good. To be talking about something good, about spiritism, to be spreading an idea. People they use internet nowadays in order to show what is being done around the world. So the news they go too fast. Nothing can be hidden anymore like before. So the spirits are saying to us here that everything is renewed in society with different people in different locations with different goals, even if the bigger goal is our progress as a society, but the main progress is the progress of each one of us. That's why Emmanuel says to us that one Chico Xavier asked him, Emmanuel, but why did Jesus say that the kingdom of heaven is this and that? What is the kingdom of heaven? Because some people they believe that this kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God, it's a place where once we die, we go to that place. We're gonna go to that physical, paradise. For us spirits, we think we're gonna go to astral city or not solar. But Emmanuel says to us, no, the kingdom of heaven is the love and peace of mind of each man's heart. So the kingdom of God, according to Emmanuel, is when we are in peace with ourselves. This is heaven. This is the kingdom of God, according to Emmanuel. So once each man on earth has peace of mind because he has done his best, he worked not only for himself, but for the others surrounding him. When we go to sleep and we know that we didn't harm anyone, we know that we did as much as we could in order to help a stranger, or even at work, for example, even if our boss said something to us which we believe is completely insane, we don't agree at all, but we were able to respect his opinion. Even in the internet, when we believe in candidate X or candidate Z, candidate Y, even if I disagree with that political ideology, I respect that political ideology. Once we are in this path, and each one of us, then we're gonna be having a kingdom of heaven on earth. So that's why in this chapter here it talks a lot about the work, the law of work, the law of progress in this chapter. But here it talks about it talks about the society work. But in order to society to progress, in order to have results as a society, we must have results as an individual first. Because otherwise, we're going to create a society where only a few hand of people they have a means of surviving. We're gonna be having a country which has perhaps 200 million people, and all the wealthy it's only in 1% of the hands of a few rich billionaires. and that's not the kingdom of heaven with the good, which the good spirits they try to, which the good spirits they are trying to teaching us. Even in other religions, once you take the Bhagavad Gita, the great Hindu book, when you take the about the our once you take the Bible itself, or once you take the Islamic tradition, all these traditions, the Buddhist traditions, they talk about somewhere a bit higher, somewhere a bit more perfect than we have here on earth. They talk about something better. But all of these traditions, they explain to us that we have to do that first. We have to do our parts. And that's why God gave to us the work. Because here in the Gospel according to Spirit, they say that if God didn't give to us the work, our hands they would fall apart, our muscles they would be destroyed, we would be weak. But they gave to us the spirits they gave to us the hard work in order to our physical body to progress and our strength to be gained, but also challenges then we could always our intelligence in order to solve these challenges in order to progress. For example, uh, 400 years ago, we didn't know many things that we know nowadays. We didn't know anything about gravity, perhaps. Those men who were trying to discover new countries, who were trying to go to the new world, they were being guided by the stars. Nowadays, we have so many instruments to be sailing over the sea, in an open sea, where technology can guide us. A doctor is the same. If nowadays you have an accident, you don't have to go to a village where they're gonna cut your leg because there is nothing you can do without any anesthesia. Now we have medication, proper medication, in order to us to suffer less. So it says here to us that God gave to us the intelligence in order to progress. But where and when we start to gain troubles to ourselves? Once we use this intelligence, as we said, in order to do only good things to us. Because then this selfishness and pride has no place in the coming word, the good word that the spirits they talk about, the word of regeneration, as we always talk in Spiritism. This kind of more evolved stages of society that we're going to be reaching at some time soon has no place for pride and selfishness. We must progress. It's like this. Emmanuel, let me just. If you guys have any questions, guys, please feel free. It's like one day, Chico was talking to Emmanuel. For those who don't know Chico, I don't know if Michaeli is Brazilian or not. If she knows a little bit about Chico Xavier, but Chico Xavier was perhaps the greatest medium that we have in the 20th century, everywhere around the world. The biggest in Brazil for sure, but I believe the biggest in the entire world in this 20th century. And Emmanuel was his spiritual mentor, okay? Trying to simplify. But Emmanuel was talking one day with Chico Xavier, and Chico Xavier asked, Emmanuel, why don't you help me in most of the Sundays? And Emmanuel said, Chico, on Sundays, I have a very important appointment. And Chico one day asked, where and with who? And Emmanuel explained, each Sunday I go to see Livia. Livia was his wife 2,000 years ago on earth, but once she passed away, because she was a very good person and she did the best, she wasn't someone selfish, she lived to help the others. She went to high spheres, so she progressed more than Emmanuel. And then Chico asked her, but why don't you stay there most of the time? And Emmanuel said, because Chico, my energy, my vibration is not up to that place where she lives. So it's not compatible where she lives. Because she was here and Emmanuel was here, and we are here. But as Livia is here, we're gonna be here also. But Livia, she used her knowledge that the situations that she was, when she was on Earth, she used her life in order to progress. But her goal wasn't to progress. She wasn't saying, "Oh, I'm going to progress because I want to be in a high evolved place." No, she wanted to do good for the sake of doing good. And that's what is the Jesus teachings about. Once we do the good, because the good must be done, not because we're gonna be gaining anything, But if Livia is able to get there, we're gonna be able to get there also. But we need also the efforts that she put on it. We need to give the same efforts. Let's say here, Michaela is saying that I know about him. Chico Xavier used to go to, so Michaela knows. So I'm glad that you know about Chico Xavier. So that's what we have to understand, guys. So here, the spirits they say to us, the spirits not come to exempt men from the law of work, but only show the goal to him to be reached, the pathway which leads there which leads to progression, to evolve, by saying, walking and you get there, work and you active. So here the spirits they keep saying, you will find your path with stones on the way, but look upon them and move. So you have the stone, you have the trouble in your life, move that stones, keep going, because our way would be a difficult way for sure. No one has an easy life here on this planet, because if we keep going, the spirits they would give the necessary strength in order to us to be able to pass this difficult. The spirits are saying to us here. So then we have to understand that if we want to progress, do not wait for an easy life. If you are here right now watching this live, and if you want to have more patience because you believe you are someone who doesn't have much patience with the others, do not expect someone really calm surrounding you. Do not expect to be living in an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with no one, but expect to have difficult people surrounding you. Expect to be work in a difficult place. Expect to be having to deal a lot of times with the traffic. Because if we want to gain patience, we need opportunity to exercise patience. So if you want to be able to appreciate more friendship, we're gonna need difficult friends in order to try to have these difficult friends in a difficult time, perhaps when they are. Because it's really easy to say, "Oh, I have my friends. I love my friends." Once they do everything they want, once they do everything that you agree, everything that you appreciate. But how about that difficult friend who always disagrees with you? Who always perhaps has a different opinion, but he's your friend. Once you need, he is there for you. Some people they abandon these kind of friends. So if you want to have a true friendship, do not expect everyone to be in accordance with you. Expect difficult people. If you really want to have a true love in your life, do not expect a princess or a principal, you know, a princess or a princess, sorry, who'd be doing everything that you want, who'd be saying all the time that he loves you or she loves you so much. Expect someone that you can walk together. Expect someone that perhaps with time, which is natural, beauty will fade away, but that person will be beside you. So everything that we want in life, if you really we really want to obtain or to achieve some kind of virtue, if we want to obtain if we want to improve ourselves, our character, we have to understand that we're gonna need difficulties to it. I hope that's clear to us, because a lot of times, as we said, we think because I want this and that, I don't want to suffer. I don't want to be. I don't want to find difficulties regarding to this. I want an easy life like this. I want something ready to me, ready to go. I want to take away life. What I just call and it comes to me, and that's it. It's red. We need time to build, and the love work helps us in all spaces, in all realms of our life, in order to us to progress. And here, the spirits they say to us, from the moral point of view, these words of Jesus signify that once that if we ask for light to show us the way, it will be given to us. But And also, if we ask the strength to resist evil, we shall receive it. And if we ask for the assistance of the good spirits, it will come to us. Just as the good angel of Tobias, who is in the Tobias is a part, just to clarify, it's in the Bible, okay? I don't remember which part in the Bible, but it's a parable of the Old Testament. So as it says here, uh, if we ask for strength to resist evil, we shall receive it. And if we ask assistance of the good spirits, they shall come to us. Okay? Because if we ask God for help and good advice, and if we ask God for a counsel, it will not be refused to us. That's what we have to understand, that once Jesus say, knock the door, and the door would be opened to you, we have to understand that everything that we ask, as we said before, must be asked with sincerity, faith, and with an open heart towards the good spirits. Because nothing that we ask with arrogance or pride will be given to us. So then, that's what we have to understand by these words of Jesus. We seek and you find, and knock and everything, and the door will be open to you. So, in order to us to ask, we must do our part, basically. But we have to be humble. It's like when someone is sick, you're not gonna go to the doctor and be rude with the doctor and say, come here and help me here right now. Because you have to help because you're a doctor or because I'm paying you. Yes, he's a doctor, but you are the one who needs the help. So why not be a bit humble? Sometimes we believe that the world has to give everything to us, as we said before, but the world does not have to give anything to us. So if you are here on earth, let's appreciate this journey called life. Let's do our part, of course. And many times we're gonna have to ask for the strength from the good spirits. We're gonna have to be asked for some help from someone, from a friend, or even from an enemy, or even the help will come from someone that we don't like or we don't appreciate. But that person, because he saw that we are in a difficult situation, and that person has the teachings of goodness and Jesus inside his heart, even if he doesn't like you, he's gonna help you sometimes. That's what we see in the parable of the Good Samaritan, when a Samaritan helped someone on the streets, someone who was hurt, but that person was no one to him in that parable. But even though he helped, so sometimes the help that we are searching comes from nowhere that we don't believe that would come. So while we are here, we have to be humble, we have to appreciate life, we have to be kind, and we have to make our thoughts to work for ourselves, not against ourselves. Because sometimes we speak a lot in Spiritism about obsession, for example, but we are the ones who are obsessing ourselves. We wake up in the morning, we start to complain. We turn on our mobile phone, we start to see news of people dying around the world. We start to see news about the economic crisis, and we turn on ourselves in that mood, and we are in that mood for the entire day. When we are at work, our someone asks for help from us because we are afraid that person may take our position. We don't want to help that person. Once we are on the streets, once you are in a car or in a motorbike, like myself, and if someone comes to you and do something crazy in front of you, instead of being nice, you shout at that person. We do that sometimes, yes. It's unfortunate because we are still using our primary instincts instead of using our intelligence. But all these situations that we are having, difficult situations that we are having in our life, they come to us in order to the good spirits to work for ourselves. And how do the good spirits work for ourselves? As we said, they give to us the difficulties that we asked before. Because all the difficulties that we have in this life, we asked before we come to earth. And how we going to be able to progress? Working. As the Spirit says here, the law of work, the chance of us to be able to work It's something that if we use wisely, it will only bring to us success and good things in life. But good things does not mean material stuff. It means perhaps that if we work hard, we will become more wise, we will become more patient, we will become more kind, we will be able to respect the difference between each other. And that's not difficult, guys. That it's so difficult. That's much more difficult, guys, to be able to read in a different language, to be able to active the place that you want, the position that you want in your company, or to become rich and so on. Because many people, they only put their energy in this material stuff, these material things in life. Then they forget how to be kind. Then they forget how to be gentle with the others. Then we are in trouble. Because one day we're going to realize that everything that we worked so hard for, if we weren't able to share with the others, it has no value. That's why in that movie, Into the Wild, I think many of you has watched. If you guys haven't watched, I would recommend. It's not an spiritist movie at all. Into the Wild is based on true facts. When the main character says, a happiness is only real once it's shared. So our life is made to be shared with the others. Our happiness and good times are made to be shared with the others. But if we work wisely, if we are kind with one another, perhaps in the difficult times in our life, we're going to have friends who will support us. But even if those that you consider your friends leave you away, you're still gonna have the good spirits, and you're still gonna have the beauty of life, which perhaps will bring you new people, new challenges, new ways of working in order for you to keep progressing. What I'm trying to say: do not stop once difficult comes. Keep going. Yes, things they might get rough sometimes, but like the spirits they see here to us, you know, that once if we ask for the strength to resist evil, it shall be given to us. If we ask for the assistance of the good spirits, it will be given to us. They would be beside us, but we have to be humble to ask these things. Okay. Guys, that was it for today. If you guys have any questions, we still have some time. But as I said, this chapter is not so long. But if I go to the end, I think it would be too fast, and we wouldn't have time to talk and you know, to try to explain a little bit about this wonderful book, about this wonderful part here that you have in this only 3 pages. But here we could be talking for hours and hours about one parable of Jesus alone. So yeah. So next week, so today we spoke again of about the chapter 25 of the Gospel according to Spiritism. Seek and we will find. So we went until the item 5. Next week, we're going to be talking about from item 6, which says, Behold the foes of the air. Again, it's a beautiful part, one of the most beautiful parts, which at least I think from the Bible myself. Once Jesus says to us that we should not accumulate treasures on earth, but accumulate treasures in heaven. So it's a beautiful part that has relation with the law of work that we discussed here, and about the difficulties that we have in life. So next week we're gonna be talking a bit more about this. So thank you for everyone, guys, for your time, for your presence here again. For me, it's a pleasure and it's a gift to be able to be talking here in English about Spiritism, to be able to have this space where we can talk about the works of Allan Kardec, the good spirits, and Jesus our Master. So I'm quite happy to have this place here, to have this opportunity. I'm really happy that you guys were able to be here with me tonight. And that's it, guys. So we're gonna make some announcements here before we go. So for those who are here for the first time, don't forget that today at 8:30 we're gonna have our virtual healing, which will be done on our YouTube page, which the address is there. Okay. So 8:30, you just have to go to our YouTube page, and the healing team will be there, and they will be conducting the healing um, to you guys. Okay, let me see here. For those also who would like to study a little bit more about the Spirits book, we have a Spiritist book study, which is every Wednesday at 8 p.m. This study is done via Zoom, so you guys have to send an email to us at spiritismisland at gmail.com, and someone else will reply to you, giving the Zoom link. Then you guys can participate. Soon, guys, we're gonna be having our presidential meetings. I don't have the date here yet, but you guys are gonna find that on our Facebook page. But it's not gonna be like before every week. It's gonna be every 15 days. All the details will be shared with you guys here on the lives that we have, and also on our Facebook page. And for those who are here for the first time, our Facebook lives happens every Tuesday and Thursday, 7:15 p.m., and also every Sunday, 11:15 a.m. Dublin time. So if you guys want to participate, you guys feel free and you guys can go there. Okay, I believe that's it, guys. Thank you for your presence here. We're gonna be finalizing tonight with our final prayer. Okay, so next week, chapter 25, item 6. Okay, so let's. Okay, so I'd like to invite everyone who feels comfortable to close your eyes, to take a deep breath. Let's imagine ourselves in a comfortable place where the sun hits our skin, warms our face. This wonderful sun that we are having here today in Ireland and around the world. Let's imagine this sun healing all our troubles, helping us in all aspects that we need, cleaning our soul, our mind, and our hearts from past experiences that we have, taking away all the feelings of hatred, of hardness, taking away all the difficult feelings that we have troubles to digest. Let's imagine that this light is Jesus, our Master, cleaning our spirit, cleaning ourselves. And Jesus, this light, only asks us one thing: to love one another as He has loved us. He just asks us to be kind with one another, nothing else. So let's be thankful for this light and let's do our part, trying to follow as much as we can the teachings of our Master, not the traditions, not any religion. If you don't want to, that's fine. But let's follow the idea, the teachings itself of becoming better each day for ourselves and the others. Thank you, God, for the life Thank you, the Spiritual Society of Ireland, to be giving this opportunity to be talking about Spiritism, to be able to learn each Tuesday that I'm here, and to be sharing among friends these teachings of Spiritism. Thank God, and so be it. Okay, guys. Thank you very much, everyone. We see each other next Tuesday. Okay? Have a good night, guys. Bye bye.